Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to Monster Tamer News, the segment on this channel where we go over the past week's developments in the monster taming genre. Now, this week we have some interesting stuff going on. We have Unity backpedaling with regards to the whole new monetization model they're going for. Medabots won an NFT lawsuit, which is definitely going to be really interesting. We got some new Dragon Quest Monsters gameplay and a sort of showcase, if you will, and more. So as per the usual, make sure to sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, Temtem did launch its 1.5 update, which brings forth some new PvE content and mostly changes. We went through some of the patch notes in a previous video, but essentially Umbras, which are like the more rare version of Lumas, which are kind of like darker themed, are now within the game. They have a 1 in 75,000 base odds chance of appearing. There are ways to manipulate this, of course. We got the new mythical and area to go alongside it, and some changes to raids, as well as the randomizer mode, allowing you to actually access it without having to do a Nuzlocke specifically. I made a video going over some of my thoughts, so you could definitely check that out if you want more context. Next up, we had an update for Moonstone Island. This isn't a big update, but it does pertain to yesterday's video. They patched out the exploit that lets you buy seeds for 10 gold and then sell them for 15. If your computer is not connected to the internet normally, or you're on a laptop or something, turn off your Wi-Fi before launching the game if auto updates are off, because you'll still be able to access the exploit before that point. But if you have updated the game, that guide's not going to work for you anymore. I'm going to keep it up for a couple more days just in case some people are in that situation. I pinned a comment explaining how you could still access it, but don't worry, because tomorrow I do have a less OP but still pretty decent method for farming gold. Honestly, I've been enjoying Moonstone Island a lot. I think it's a really good game. I think it balances its different aspects really well, and I definitely recommend it. So after the whole situation with Unity trying to essentially charge people 20 cents per sale on certain games and just a lot of people moving away from Unity, I made a whole video on that. They actually did backpedal a little bit. Now, I'm going to let you guys decide if this is enough. A lot of people are saying, you know, we don't need you to dial it back. We need you to roll it back and not do these things. But essentially, they have stated that they're going to allow Unity Personal to be free and change the cap from 100,000 to 200,000 whilst removing the splash screen. Then they said that no game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee, and essentially that none of the games are going to be affected if they've already been shipped. Furthermore, they said that for games that are subject to the runtime fee, they're going to give them a choice of either a 2.5 revenue share or the calculated amount based on the number of new people engaging with your game each month. Both of these numbers are self-reported from data you already have available. You will always be billed the lesser amount. That's what it says there on the site. Now, again, I'm not really affected by this. Any sort of game development I've ever worked on has always been on Game Maker, but Unity devs, let me know what you guys think about this. This kind of seems like they purposely took a massive leap forward in terms of these monetization models that are kind of scummy, and then they decided to take 2 steps back. But despite taking those 2 steps back, the leap itself still brought them further towards that goal. Evolings, a self-described minimalistic turn-based roguelike, is now out on Steam. I was going to cover this in a Monster Tamer Games You Never Knew segment. I still am gonna, so we can give more context and stuff like that, but that video did get kind of pushed back because I've had a lot of content to make lately for Moonstone and some other stuff that's been going on. But the game seems to be inspired by something like Slay the Spire. The scrolling map that they showcase, which lets you kind of decide which area you're going to go to, also kind of reminds me of Necromancer's Gift, a game which we haven't really heard of in a long time. Probably might have a video about that at some point in the future. But yeah, if you want to check it out, it does have mixed reviews on Steam, so feel free to read through them and decide whether or not you want to buy the game. It looks pretty cute. So the studio that owns the IP for Medabots has been fighting against the NFT developer that allegedly registered the trademark when it was expired in Europe, which basically has completely stopped any sort of chance of any Medabots games coming to the West, if they were even planned in the first place. Essentially, it's called Medarot in Japan, and Medabots is like the Western English version of the name. So that trademark had expired since they weren't using it, and then someone kind of pulled out. Now, remember, trademarks and IP are 2 different things, so they've been kind of fighting with them over getting that back. In Spain, they have won so far, unless it's appealed. So that's one step towards hopefully getting Medabots back. I think it's absolute bullcrap that somebody can just, you know, swoop in, have an alleged NFT scam and then just completely stop Medabots from being able to exist outside of Japan. But I will also say, like, they should have probably renewed their trademark. That's kind of a big no on them. So the Square Enix YouTube channel actually uploaded a video called Get the Facts, Dragon Quest Monsters, A Dark Prince, which essentially acts as an early game showcase and sort of guide, I guess you could say, to some of the features within the game. They go over the fusion mechanic, they showcase a lot of new gameplay and stuff like that. You get a look at combat and some of the new monsters within the game and stuff like that. I definitely couldn't go over it all here, but it is subtitled, so, you know, potentially we could do a video reacting to it if you guys are interested. I'm really hyped for Dragon Quest Monsters, especially after playing what I have so far of the demo. It's actually a really good game, so I'm not surprised it is, but definitely excited for December 1st. Next, before we head into the rapid fire news for the updates that don't require lengthy explanations, we do have some PAL decks for Pal World to show off. Let's check them out here. Okay, rapid fire time. So we got a new clip for Summoner's Tale showcasing boss combat. We got the release of Abomination on Steam, some art upgrades for Eternal Exodus. We got a new monster for Mythcaller the Nightmare Shaman called Source Cod because it's a digital fish. Best name ever, 10 out of 10. We got a new step form for Gremlin's Tale, a new Beastie for Beastie Ball, a new Elion for Elion Adventures, some new combat VFX for Unlich, and finally, last but not least, a look at the Earth Magic ability in Elements. But yeah, there you go, guys. Another kind of crazy week in the genre. Definitely let me know down below which games you're looking forward to most, what you're up to right now, and I don't know, what kind of content you want to see next. We have the Cassette Beast DLC coming out really soon, which I'm definitely excited about, and I got a lot of Moonstone stuff still to get done. So yeah, with that being said, special thanks to my patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona Exodus, and Candy Morency. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.